Today we're going to be doing a review of the Neogen Probiotic line, and let's get into it. So the Neogen Probiotic line is a skincare line that has a very heavy focus on probiotics incorporated into their formulations. What a probiotic is a bacteria or yeast that helps to maintain your skin's microbiome, which is just an environment where microorganisms live. So your skin has a natural flora to it that contains different bacteria and organisms that are actually helpful in keeping your skin protected from outside invaders like pathogens. So let's get into it, reviewing each of these products and the ones that were my favorite, and then the not so favorite. So for my favorite skincare products from this line, I have the Neogen Probiotics Youth Repair Emulsion Cream. So I would say that this is more of a serum for my skin than a cream, but if you do have like oilier skin or you're not a big fan of thick creams, this could work as a moisturizer, I believe. So this serum here contains olive oil, shea butter, and ceramides, all blended together to really help repair the skin barrier, moisturize it, and then also help to repair that lipid barrier as well. It also contains probiotics. All of these products do, but I didn't really want to touch on that as I spoke about that in the beginning about the importance. So of course the probiotics are going to be in there to help restore that microbiome and make sure that you have good bacteria on your skin. The reason why I really like this is because it's lighter, but it still has a bit of an emulsive feeling to it. It has a bit of a creamy texture, but it's still light and a bit milky, so it's not overwhelming. It's really good for the daytime. It was not irritating on my skin. I felt this was rather calming. So the next product I have here is the Neogen Probiotics Relief Sun Essence. And the word essence is honestly pretty true. It has an almost exact type of formulation to the Beach Shield by Crave Beauty. I wouldn't say that it has the exact ingredient list, I didn't check that, but it almost looks and feels the exact same when you put it on, and it doesn't leave a white cast. At least for me, I didn't think it would leave a white cast on other darker skin tones because it has such a similar formulation or coloring to the Beach Shield by Crave Beauty, and that usually does not leave a white cast on anyone's skin. I would say this is more of a serum texture. It doesn't really even have a white color, and it applies very seamlessly like a serum, and it moisturizes like a serum. It actually contains a multitude of different molecular weights of hyaluronic acid, which is really good to help penetrate different layers of the skin and really hold onto moisture, so that if your skin is very dehydrated, it holds onto water deep within your layers. So the next one that I have here is another favorite. I actually really enjoy this one, not only because I think that it's really formulated quite well, but it's also very innovative. I like how it comes in a duo, and you can kind of choose either if you want to use one or the other, if you want to mix them together, whatever suits your mood on the day you are using this. But basically this is the Neogen Double Action Serum, and it contains two formulations that you can decide to use or use together. To break down the serum, on the ivory colored side, there's a blend of ceramides and peptides to help strengthen the skin barrier. This side is a bit more calming. So on the white side here, we have lactic acid, which is a common ingredient used to help exfoliate the skin. It's good for getting rid of dry or dead skin cells, and it tends to be a little bit less abrasive than glycolic acid, but it still can be a little bit irritating per se because it is exfoliating the skin. So I think that's why the ivory side is there, to help really calm your skin. This also contains prebiotics and probiotics to help bring your skin back to a good slightly acidic pH. So your skin is actually in its like optimal environment when it is at a slightly acidic level or acidic pH. So that's Also, a good aspect of the prebiotics and probiotics on this side is that it's going to help balance out your skin and make sure that it's in its optimal state. The last thing on this white side is some hyaluronic acid and glycerin. Of course, glycerin is really good for holding on to moisture, so is hyaluronic acid. But glycerin is also something naturally found within our skin, so it's also great for repairing our skin barrier and strengthening it. And that's why I think that these two work really well together, because they both kind of counteract each other, not counteract each other, but they both kind of work together to make sure that maybe the effects of the other thing is sort of balanced out by the effects of the other. So the next thing I have, I'm gonna read the name off my phone because I accidentally left these at home, but they are the last of my favorites of this product line, and they are the Probiotic Relief Mask Set. And so this set contains a really nice blend of hyaluronic acid, squalene, and probiotics to really help hydrate the skin, keep it nice and balanced, and also kind of almost repair your skin barrier and your lipid barrier with that squalene. So this mask set was definitely a favorite out of the bunch, but I wouldn't say it's like a life-changing mask. I do think that it could be a good try for someone who's really trying to just introduce some probiotics into their routine and they don't want to like commit to a full-on product. So having those masks there is really great. I believe you get 4 or 5 in this set. Yeah, I would say that it was a favorite out of the line, but I wouldn't say it's like a favorite out of all of the masks I've ever tried before. It did sink in nicely to the skin, but I would say that it was a little bit like over soaked for me in the essence, but that's just like a personal preference. I don't really like when things are like too soaking wet, that it feels like it's just like coming off of the mask rather than going onto your face. All right, so the next product I have is one of the moisturizers. This is the Youth Repair Cream. This cream I actually put in the category because it's not a favorite, but it wasn't a not favorite. I actually did kind of like using this, but I don't think that it really suited my skin well because it was irritating. And I will now be transitioning into that because the favorites that I showed you guys before weren't really irritating to my skin, but the ones that I'm going to show you now, they did sort of irritate my skin, and I'm not really sure if it's just because my skin has been so dry lately. I've honestly been pretty stressed out, so that all kind of creates a bad environment to be trying out new skincare. So I wouldn't really bank on 100% my experience because everyone has different experiences and everyone's skin is in different states. So for this cream, I do really like it because it does contain things like ceramides, olive oil. It also contains sunflower seed oil. Personally, I really like sunflower seed oil because it is loaded with fatty acids and it's higher in linoleic acids. So that means that it tends to be a bit more of a drier oil, but it's still really nourishing and it's great to repair a damaged lipid barrier. And I think it honestly can go both ways for oily and dry skin. This was definitely a thicker consistency, and that's why I liked it, is because it was a bit irritating, but not as much as the rest, which is why it's my #1 I did reach for it more often because it is winter time and it was thicker, so it did feel nice on my skin to have that more of a thicker layer on my skin. That felt nice. So the next one I have here also contains ceramides, glycerin, squalenes, kind of just the all-around commonality between all of these products. A lot of them use like a lot of the same ingredients. This Neogen Youth Repair Mist is really nice. Honestly, I could have put this in my favorites, but I wanted to put it in my because sometimes it did irritate my skin a little bit. But it was pretty nice, and I do see myself maybe carrying this around a bit more. I would like to really keep up my skincare, just like whenever I'm sitting and doing work. Having this to just spray on my face is really nice. It does have a really nice mist to it. It's not overwhelming and it spreads very nicely, but you do have to pat it into your skin. It's not going to just soak automatically, of course. But otherwise, I did think it was pretty hydrating and it soaked in quite fast, and I think it's a good like on-the-go sort of touch-up type of product. All right, so the next thing I have, we're now into my not so favorites. So this is the first of my not so favorite. I definitely would not repurchase this one again or purchase it for the first time, since this is all PR, just so you know. This is the Probiotic Relief Toning Pad. So these toning pads, just to get into why I didn't really like it, I don't like the fact that it's a pad. I'd rather a liquid toning solution. I find that, you know, the more pads I use on my face and the more rubbing I do, the more irritating it is. And that's just me personally. So I find that when I use a liquid, it's just more easy to control and a lot softer and more gentle. Also, I guess the obvious thing is that it's just not sustainable. So I guess to talk about the ingredients in here, there's some rice ferment filtrate in here to help brighten and strengthen the skin through amino acids. And then again, there's probiotics, and those probiotics are gonna help maintain a slightly acidic pH on your skin. The next one that I have for the not so favorites, but I really wish it was at least in my or honestly I wish it was in my favorites category, is this Neogen Probiotics Relief Cream. This cream has a texture so similar to the Klairs Vitamin E, I think it's a sleeping mask, or it might be a moisturizer. But if you know with that one, it has a very odd, almost like jello consistency that when you dig into it and you put it on your face, even if you leave a little gap in there, if you wake up the next morning, you'll see that it's actually completely flat and looks almost full again. It's like it regenerates overnight, and that's what I really liked about this. I also love gel creams, even though I did say that the thicker one was in my category this time. Gel creams are honestly my favorite year-round. The reason why I didn't really like this, I guess you can guess, is because it's irritating, and it was too much. I think this was probably one of the more irritating ingredient or products that I used right next to the toning pad. I don't know why, and I'm kind of upset about it. It might be that using all of these in conjunction is just too much, or there are too many ingredients in here and my skin just couldn't take it all at once, and honestly I think my skin was kind of doing that with any product I was using recently. So in here, something great is the jojoba seed oil. Jojoba seed oil is really good for those of you with oily skin, actually, if you're trying to counteract oil production. Also, this cream has 11 different types of peptides in here, which is also pretty interesting, which can help to repair and strengthen your skin barrier. Yeah, I do think this cream has so much potential. I'm actually quite sad that it didn't really work out for me, but I hope that you guys can see some good in it and hopefully try it out and let me know how you like it. All right, so that was it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to watch the 2 videos in the end screen here and leave any questions below.